gentlemen, welcome to First Touch. This is a show where we talk about all things Rocket League. I am Dazerin. Joined with me is going to be, of course, Dizz and TBates. Gentlemen, good morning.
It's always good afternoon.
It's morning to me, okay? It's morning to me. I just woke up like a couple hours ago, okay?
Man got this espresso. It is the morning.
Yeah. I'm drinking coffee and everything, getting the day started. But how you guys doing today?
Got my nice little workout in this morning. I actually decided to wake up early for once because T-Bates kind of inspired me, you know. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
I mean, that's good that you're inspired by me. I feel like I inspire a lot of people to be great. Do what you gotta do. Live every second of every moment of your life and just go out. So I'm always ready to go. I'm rocking my EU.
Yeah. Looking like the baby. That's the baby fit. All right, well, let's go. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to get right into it. First things first, OCE Major happened over this weekend where we saw Ground Zero absolutely dominate in a good fashion. I was there. That was actually my first. Was that my first? Yeah, that was my first major on the mainstream.
Well, congratulations. Round
you.
of applause. There we go. There you go. Look at the Mar really going up in the world.
Oh, gosh. And yeah, I mean, that was fantastic. I think, let's take a look at the actual OCE major standings, just so you guys can kind of get like a good, clear look at everything. Ground Zero Gaming, they dominated groups. They did well. Renegades was the one that, was really interesting going into day 2 of it, because it was only like a 2-day major. And then like that entire standings was, everything seemed okay in the first part, but then if we go and look at the bracket, which we have coming up next, you could really see this is where things got so crazy. So just to talk about this, going into today, everyone was looking at Mindfreak, Renegades, and Cringe Society, because all 3 of those teams had a chance to make it into the top 2. Mindfreak had to win the entire thing. I think Renegades had to do better than Cringe, and then obviously Cringe, vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wild. Me and Stacks had the first 2 with Ground Zero and Mindfreak, and we watched Mindfreak fall apart to Dire Wolves. That was actually the wildest soup I think I've seen in a while, to be honest. And then ended up finding out later on that Cringe ended up beating out Renegades. So I think that begs the next question for Cringe. Cringe Society qualifying for the OCE Championships. Obviously, congratulations to them. But initial thoughts here as you guys kind of look at OCE.
Well, you see, I just wanted to make it clear and let the OCE boys know, the Cringe Society know, that I do kind of dabble in my OCE watching and viewing. And I was the only person on the desk last week who said that Cringe Society were going to make it. Everybody else picked Renegades. I just want to let that be known. So that's another point for Bates. As usual, Bates is not wrong. He's usually right. But I mean, it's pretty good Rocket League. I was like worried about Drippay and them boys. Everybody get reverse swept by Renegades. CJ was getting hot. But at the end of the day, I still believe Drippay is just the best player in the field. And when it comes to that, it's a really high level. But in terms of like Drippay is just a little bit better than those guys. The best players got to make the play. And I believe he have a clip of him making a play in Game 7. A little air dribble over 2. Skip to Malu. Let's see Jules. Jules, my man. He does all the filler stuff. That's why I like to see the bump. Clear up for Drippay. Little pop by one. Where they at? Don't jump for that. It's too late. It's too late for you to jump. But you're not up early. You might as well stay in the ground. Give up. Who's that in there?
That's Cammy.
That's Cammy. Oh, Cammy. You gotta get up a little faster than that, buddy. Gotta be quicker than that. And so
vets.
I mean, and then it was also funny because we were all saying last week that whoever ultimately ended up avoiding Ground Zero for the longest would end up making it. And Mindfreak lost first round anyways. But it's just that both of these teams are like so fortunate that they ended up on the same side of bracket, so they had to play each other rather than playing Ground Zero, because Ground Zero, of course, swept Cringe Society afterwards, and they probably would have done Renegades the same. So,
well, you said that Mindfreak had to win the whole thing, right?
Yeah, they had to win the whole thing. Oh no, they had even more than that. They had not only had to win the whole thing, but they had to hope that Renegades and Cringe lost first round. Like in quarters.
That's impossible. Ground Zero is just gonna take that. Ground Zero is like a step ahead of the region. It's just kind of like you look at BDS for EU. That's exactly what I think when I see Ground Zero play in that region. They're just a step ahead. I'm looking at T-Bates mentioned that he picked Cringe Society, but the only reason he picked it is because me and DeMar went with Renegades. So don't let him try to gas himself up a little too
That's
much,
true.
a little too much.
Somebody's got to go back and check the tape. I might have said that, but see, the thing is, I was just so confident in my switching of my picks that I just wasn't worried about being wrong.
Okay, dude. Okay, dude. Yeah, no, I think hitting on it a little bit. This is gonna go to our next kind of subtopic here. Is OCE finally showing a semblance of depth? That's gonna be the question I pose to you guys in a second. But I do want to talk about it too for a little bit. I did mention on the broadcast about Ground Zero because I watched it maybe like 2 or 3 series in where I was in the lobby, and it's just a whole different game, man. Like that kid Amphis especially is just he's really good. He's just really, really good. And also looking at all the other teams, like you talk about Mind Freak, for example, like Dire Wolves, I think, was like at the bottom of the group. There was no reason they should have got swept there. Like they should have at least been able to make it close. Even though they needed everything else to happen, you still have to win your initial match. And the fact that they just couldn't find anything was very odd to me. Maybe it was. I honestly think it was just the pressure of the situation, and then the team just cracked under all
You
the
talking
pressure.
about Mind Freaks?
Yeah, Mind Freak.
Okay, losing to Dire Wolves.
Yeah, I think that's really like what that ended up coming down to. Was just like they had all these things to worry about, and then the pressure ended up getting to them. In terms of, is OCE finally showing a semblance of depth, though? For me, no, because it's the same top teams you're seeing, fight for spots, and no one can be Ground Zero. Like no one can be Ground Zero, in my opinion.
My thing is, like, I don't think we'll ever see. So we pose this question to South American and just like the minor regions. I don't think we'll ever see these minor regions come close to a major region, as in EU and NA. I think the best thing that a minor region can offer is players themselves. Like players can. I could see a world where a player from OCE or South America just like gets a chance taken by an NA or an EU team, like not a top 6 team or something like that, but like a top 16 team just picks out one of the best players from OCE and they develop an NA or EU and then they progress from there. Like I never see a OCE team just like competing with a top EU or NA team anymore. I just think the region is way too underdeveloped and they don't have they're not at the speed of the meta that they need to be.
We've seen that though before, right? With Drippe.
Yeah,
was
with
on Evil
Drippe.
Geniuses. Now, do you think that time was not good for that move to happen? Because like it was at a time where the game is played so much differently to what it is now. Do you think like if that move were to happen today, it would have had a much bigger impact on maybe like OCE as a region or even just Drippe as an individual player?
I think today it definitely could have a different impact because the meta is different. But I don't think that Drippe could be on a like Evil Genius at the time was what, a top 4, 6 team?
Probably 6.
Something like that. Top 6 team. I don't think Drippe can be on a top 6 team immediately coming into North America anymore. I don't think anybody could from one of the minor regions. I think they would have to start from like a top 16 team, something like that, and then like develop in NA and then grab like speed up with the region itself and adapt to the region, and then they'll like progress forward that way, in my opinion.
I can agree with that. But but in terms of all y'all's other points, I think y'all are ludicrous or something. I'm not understanding. There's a question just about DEPTH, depth.
And spell it.
Because I had to let y'all know, because I think y'all misconstrued the definition of it or the word itself. I don't know what's lacking. Ground Zero gaming is akin to BDS in Europe, but that's not to say BDS. I mean, that's not to say Europe doesn't have depth. They just don't have a team as good as BDS. They have depth. I think that this Oceanic region over the course of this season, they've got a legit 7 teams now. Granted, nobody's beating Ground Zero, but you take Ground Zero out, and I think all these teams can compete against one another.
Yeah, which is more than what it used to be. Am I wrong in that? No, you're not. I don't think you're wrong. But when we say a semblance of depth, when we say a semblance of depth, do we think like at some point the depth of the region can be to an extent where we're sending more than 2 teams out of the region to compete at a world stage?
Oh, is that the way you're looking at this question?
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
depth,
the
like,
way
you know,
the way I'm
Well, I
looking
mean-
at it too is like similar. Like, okay, think about it this way: we're still getting some form of Cammy, CJ, Torsauce, Drippe, all in the top. These are the same players we've been seeing for like past couple of years now. Like, we haven't seen, like, I mean, they're having new teammates. So, like, for example, Amphis, he's definitely going to put his name up there now. But that core group is still at the top of OCE.
That's cool because they've been playing for the longest. NRG still at the top of NA for the most part, besides like Envy and SSG. Like those teams don't change. Vitality still at the top. Well, they were until
No,
BDS
but
took them over.
you're talking teams, I'm talking players. Like, Gimmick
Those are the
is
same
not
players, though.
Gimmick and Torment are not going to the World Championships. You see what I'm saying?
CJ ain't going to the World Championship.
Yeah, but he off of one series. But guess who is Drippe? Who been in the game just as long as him?
So, I mean, I can see that, but it's just like it takes longer for those regions to like get as good. I don't think these regions will ever have the opportunity to bring more than 2 teams to a championship. It just doesn't make sense population wise. But in terms of them all getting better and being able to compete, you take out Ground Zero. There's a good competition 7 deep, which it used to be only good competition 2 deep or 3 deep, and now it's 7. And then maybe next season it'll be 10. And the depth gets more people get better and better over the course of time, and it becomes a more competitive-ish region. They just have to catch up to Ground Zero level, which is like proper RLCS-ish level.
do you think Ground Zero can compete in NA or EU, TBates?
I mean, that would bring it. That would bring us to our next topic.
That would bring us to our next topic. Let's go to our next topic. Ground Zero Gaming, right? Ground Zero's dominance continues. Obviously, they won the Spring Major and they made it look easy. But the question is, how well do we think Ground Zero stack up against other regions? So, jump right in.
Take it over.
Oh, do we have the points graphic, Big Koji? There we go. As you can see, Ground Zero is at 5,200 points, right? Which is a ridiculous amount. It's absurd. That is amazing to like be that consistent, and then they're dominating a fashion as no other. But to see, that's why I compare them to like EU. See, even BDS, there's still more competition along like the really like 8 and under. Like just EDU goes like 8 to 12, 8-13. And then this is just like top 7. So of course they're gonna dominate it even greater than or grander than BDS do. But how well they stack up against other regions? To answer that right on the nose, I would say maybe I don't know, it's hard to quantify. Because they get away with stuff that just isn't gonna happen in the major 2 regions in ADU. Like they're allowed to be afforded more mistakes from themselves, and they can capitalize on other people's mistakes more often. So it's really hard to like figure out where that type fits. Like they would have to be put in there and then clean up their own game and get used to playing people that are even more clean. Because you give a little bit of space to these NAEU teams, they're gonna capitalize, but you can be afforded to get space to any of these teams over here, and it works out for you. Yeah. I think the Amphis pre-flip kind of like shows that.
Yeah, we got that clip.
It's a cool play, but it like shows the not the ineptitude, but how this region still has to grow. Like there's really no threat for whoever dove that. Whoever dove that right there from arrows, there's no reason to. In my opinion, his shot is gonna have to be so perfect for him to put this on net, and you're probably gonna save it. But he just tosses it at the ball because he's not expecting that touch. But in NA, either NA or EU, somebody's gonna be there earlier to challenge that, or they're just gonna wait. They're not just gonna throw us out because they're gonna understand that they're last, and they have to be able to make a clean touch or force Amphis or Torsauce to really make a play to score rather than just being gifted a goal.
Yeah, or they're just gonna be there and then he's gonna be pre-flipping and not hitting the ball at all.
Right.
Normally, I think a good example, or like at least for me when I'm looking at Ground Zero, I think that they take advantage of the region because they make a lot of mistakes that more than most teams, and I think that would be successful against like a lower seeded like NA/EU team, But then when you go against teams that don't make as many mistakes and kind of force you to play consistently, I think that's where you'll really see them start to struggle. So I think they play close with like, lower in NA like teams. But besides that, that's when their consistency is challenged, then that's when you really get that test of like,
what's lower end?
Like last seed going into whatever tournament they're in.
The major?
The major or
Like,
just
no,
top
like,
16.
if
like
we're
a
talking about
16
if we're talking about like a world championship stage, right? What would be the lowest number in a team? Like,
6.
probably 6. Yeah.
You think they could compete with a 6th place team?
I think that
So
they
like
wouldn't get
FaZe or
swept.
G2?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I can see that. When we see, and that's where people
yeah.
get the world's weird. Worlds type competitions are strange because once you're there, anything can happen.
Yeah, it depends too. They got to play just as confident as like what I saw from them like last weekend. Because I'm telling you, they were hitting some good shots, man.
But they're confident because they dominate that region. Do you think they could come into a world stage and be as confident?
They're gonna come under the same confidence because they're not used to playing really good people. That's the way the Sam people come to land too. They play their game. I play my game. You're gonna adjust. If you're better than me, you beat me. Now, in terms of like a season, and that's where people get like misconstrued in my opinion, because they'll talk about Chiefs at Worlds, finish at 4th or whatever. There's only 10 teams at Worlds, and you could have like you're decent enough, everybody's capable enough to win a series or win multiple series if a couple bounces go their way. But in terms of like the RLCS, the way RLCS X and the way it's been formatted and the way it's structured in a year-long process, see, that's different. I can't see them. Well, I mean, I can see them, but I don't think it'd be realistic for them to make Worlds just like off their points. But in terms of being at Worlds, they can make some noise. Yeah, anybody can make noise once you're at Worlds, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. Anybody can make Worlds. I just don't see these players. They really have to come in disrespecting the bottom 6, the 6th place team. It's not, you can't even call them a bottom 6 because it's like 6th in a region is good. So them coming in, you really have to like disrespect JNAP Chicago. You really have to disrespect AJ Gyro.
They've done it.
You understand? Like
that's how Drippy got to NA.
That's 6th in NA, but they're 1st in OCE. Like they are the best team in that region.
Right.
So they're going to come in there and they're
gonna feel like they're the best team here, besides like BDS and Envy or something like that. That's their mentality. That's their mental. You had a year.
How do you know that?
Because I'm a competitor.
And plus they listen to people like you trash talk them constantly all the time. You imagine being on the inside of that conversation.
Hey,
I'd be ready, bro. I'd be like, I want to see roll this LA.
I think y'all got a different mental. See, y'all got the mental you need. I don't know if they got that mental. I've been to the land. I seen South America pull up, bro. NA was intimidated by South American players because they always on our region playing rank. They're speed demons. All right, they came to a land and they shut them up mad quick.
Okay, but Sam's never performed.
Okay, what
OCE's performed twice.
What's the second time?
4th and I think 5th, or was it 6th? Either way, it doesn't matter whether it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether they're 5th or 6th. That's irrelevant to my point. They performed. I don't know. I feel like my ego would be so inflated if I'm coming in with 5,200 points and I'm the next closest 4,000. I'm like, yeah, I'm here.
I belong in another region. Is that what you going in? You're like, I belong in another region.
It's not even that though.
It's not even that though. I belong here. I belong against World Championship. That's why I'm coming in.
Because think about it, bro. Who's on ground zero? Torsos is on ground zero. He's been the one that's been there. You talk about them getting 4th place. He was on that team that got 4th place. Like, if there's anybody that knows like how to do this, it's gonna be him. And then he's gonna bring that to his teammates and he'd be like, listen, don't get nervous. We finna come out here, we're gonna play our game and boom, boom, boom. We'll adjust over all of that. Like, not only him, even Express too. Like those boys, they want it. They want it. And I honestly could see that being like something that's worth noting or something that's like worth paying attention to because everybody's gonna sleep on them going in. But I think they know that. And I think that gives them the advantage.
Right. There's a lack of scrim preparation against them. Once you make the land, it can happen. Now, in terms of how good they would be if they had to do a full split, the full split, that's different. That's a different type of. That's different. You're gonna scrim against people. They're gonna know how you play, and your confidence not gonna be as high. It's just nowhere gonna be as high. Once you keep going getting slapped by Envy in scrims or in a tournament, you ain't gonna be feeling yourself as much no more. You're gonna be second guessing yourself. They probably don't second guess too many things they do over there.
You get scrim time before you play at a LAN.
That's only like 2 days though.
Hey, we got coaches in NA now that hey, they gonna make a game plan super quick.
You can write your game plan for me. If you ain't see me, if the only thing you see me is 2 scrims for 6 games, congratulations. Write your game plan, and I'm gonna play my game, and you better have your game plan implemented. I'm not worried about your game plan.
Are you okay?
I don't think they would be either. That's what the mindset they should be having going in it.
All right.
I mean, Worlds, you played at Worlds. You had that scrim time. Like, how valuable was it to you?
You figure out who's actually gonna show up.
Wait, time out. I had a question about Worlds actually.
Okay.
I believe there's one team. What team was trusted on back then? What was that called? Was that PSG?
What?
Yeah, PSG. I think no.
Yeah, I mean, he was on PSG, but then he also.
I don't know what they were called at Worlds.
I think it was PSG.
Reciprocity.
Yep.
It was reciprocity. And I do believe I heard, and I got some good sources. I do believe that I heard that reciprocity was looking good in scrims. They were looking good. They look unbeatable. What happened? What happened actually come game day?
That's what I was about to say, but you cut me off.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Okay, I said, I say scrims. You could see how a team is looking to play, but when you get on the stage, it's different because you got a crowd in front of you. You don't know how you're gonna play on the stage, like because all right, especially if people are newbies onto the LAN in general, like LAN in general. All right, being at like a DreamHack and being at a world stage with a crowd in front of you, like so DreamHack, you don't have a crowd unless you get on the main stage. So you're playing games and like on like the little side thing where they have a bunch of computers set up against other teams. But like when you get on that main stage, it's different. It's different. You feel the ball, you feel the crowd, you feel the announcer, you feel everything. So like, especially if you have a rookie on your team, he's gonna have nerves. No question about it. And I think even now, a lot of players are going to have nerves because we haven't had a LAN in a minute. So
that's true.
That affects all regions, not just the OCE teams.
I know.
I think that at Worlds, with a 16-team format or whatever it was, they could finish top 10. They could probably maybe even finish top 8. I think that's doable. Now, in terms of a league play, if they're actually in EU, actually in NA, that's different. They maybe 6th at best, maybe, but probably like 10th or 11th because it's just a different that's a different beast. There's not a 1 weekend or 3-day, 4-day thing. That's a months. That's a different type of thing you gotta handle.
I can see them being top 10. I actually can. If they come in like confident, like you say they will, right? If they come in like egos inflated, they're like, bro, we dominated a region, we belong here. I could see him being top 10.
I mean, I'm with it too. Like, I definitely think that OC could step up and do that. But we would have to see in terms of how that even happens when it happens. We do have another topic though that we can't get a Worlds, but we're pretty close. It was close. It was the Guild versus First and Friends, Reddles versus Noli, our next topic, where Guild ended up winning 4-1 against First and Friends. And,
we took one to the cheek.
Yeah, that one that didn't go well. It was very one-sided. And I guess, that's our question for the day. Why was this matchup one-sided?
I think there's an obvious answer here. It's gonna be an excuse that we said NA would make up, but hey, there's facts to back this, okay? Because EU even had a super team that played against Envy. I think the main difference is ping. Ping is a big impact in games, especially when you're playing at a high level. You have a pro hitting a power shot 80 miles per hour at your net, 100 kilometers at your net, you're not saving it on 100 ping. Depending on how close he is, you're not saving it. And I mean, you could even attest to that. Like watching those games, you can tell like the pros on the higher ping were just slower to read things than the pros on the lower ping.
Okay, and speaking of which, we do have a clip of Gil in a beating beating first. It's gonna be with some audio, so we'll just go ahead and roll that for you. Oh my goodness, the tweets are coming out.
I have inside information here.
Okay.
Musty has moved on to free play.
Completed rings. Oh, it's over. Oh, it's over. 4-1.
Rule Betrayal.
GG's. Wow. And Rattles goes dark. First killer LFT.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
The more no way! The pain in your voice after NA goes down. It's just so it's so it's so funny. And then you had Turbo, who was just nonchalant about the whole entire event, looking left and right, giving people information, irrelevant information. What did he say in that clip? Musty is warming up or something like that.
Like everybody was on like their whole different waves, bro. I'm watching the match. Turbo talking about Turbo was okay. I can't say what Turbo was doing on this stream, but Turbo was being Turbo, and Johnny loved egging him on while all this was happening. I gotta give props to Johnny though. He was a master, like managing all that chaos. And I mean, honestly, it was such a fun time. But yeah, that one was painful. That one was painful. We do have, I mean, we had more matchups, and I guess we could jump into those next, where with the North American versus EU topic, where we had Queso play against the Generals, and Envy also played against Airbus. So as you can see, the names that aren't team names are actual like super teams, quote unquote super teams, made up of some of the best. And we ended up seeing some of those play. And, you know, different results. But the team that always had the ping advantage was the team that won, so to speak.
The Generals were composed of, just to let everybody know, that was Garrett G,
Yep.
Mist, and J Naps.
Yep.
They were up 2-0 against Queso, and then proceeded to lose the next 4 games. And then Envy... Envy Turbo said, "Let me get off the desk and hop on the field real fast, just to show up everybody in Turbo fashion." And Airbus was composed of Monkey Moon,
Astro,
and Itachi.
Yep.
So they're all great teams all throughout. And to go back to why was it so lopsided in one way or the other, personally speaking. Granted, it does have to do something with that ping. Garrett G joined the desk when Turbo went to go play the Envy Airbus series, and Garrett was talking about how it was near impossible to save anything on defense because it just, as Raul was articulating so eloquently, when you have a pro player shooting a power shot 70 miles per hour, it's hard to save it on 25 ping, 30 ping, let alone save it on 120. That ball's got teleport. And Garrett would comment on this a lot, especially when he was talking about in terms of offense, they felt good. And in a clip we're going to show in a little bit, the Generals on offense, they look nice. They look nice on offense. It's a beautiful play. You can read the ball. But when you're on defense and you have to react, the defense is all about reacting to the opposition. You're like a step behind. And I think that just had a major effect on all these players out there on the field, no matter how confident they were, even Reddles.
That's something I want to bring up is like, do you guys think the team comp had something to like some drastic thing to do with how they were performing tomorrow?
I mean, yeah, because you got one that's an actual team that has a like defined play style versus like a pickup team that's full of solid players, but they don't have time together. So I think that, you know, has an effect that way.
Man,
I'm talking
What is about throwing nonsense out? Like that's definitely a factor.
Man, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna go basketball, cause I like talking basketball. I'm a basketball guy. If you're basketball in the chat, you understand what I'm saying. You got the 2017 Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, KD, not Harden, Draymond, and Clay, right? Cool. That's an established team. Let me go make a team of LeBron, Harden, Anthony Davis. Give me Giannis too. And then give me Kyrie. I'm beating the Warriors every time. Whether I'm pick up or not. It just happen.
That's
Two different games.
Yeah, it's
But
a
see-
longer game. Like,
But
And
see,
it's played a different way.
But see, you say that. But all Reynolds and them had to do, one of them had to compensate and realize I'm going to play third man, which you would think you have 3 great players on the field, one of them would do that. But I guess the ego is just too massive, or just like the feeling like I need to do what I do. It's just like, it just makes them go to to a point where they're just going to say, forget the defense, we're all going to play offense, and if we get scored on, we get scored on, which is kind of frustrating to watch, especially when you're going to talk all that nonsense and all that trash talk over the course of a week.
That's facts. That is facts. But I got to throw it to Rodis because Rodis got a point.
That's bro. I was just about to say that. Like, you got all them superstars on the same team. Someone gonna take a step back. Someone's not dropping 30 points a game, bro. Like, they used to dropping 30 points a game on their team because they have surrounding cast members. All right, you cannot have 3 superstars on the same team, even in Rocket League. Someone has to take a step back.
You can do it,
bro.
They're 2 different games.
in Rocket League, you can do it too.
Someone has to take a step back. And the Eagles in NA, no one's taking that step back. If they think they
Squishy took a step back.
okay,
That's for his
Squishy.
team.
Yeah, that's for his team.
You're talking about Reynolds, First Killer, and Chicago.
Hey, Squishy took a step back, and we even say it was a lot of people criticize that move now. A lot of people are criticizing Squishy replacing Turbo on that roster. So I mean, it's not ever, in my opinion, it's not ever a good move to have 3 superstars unless that superstar is a third man player. I'm saying someone like Mist, someone we consider top 3 in any given tourney, any given region, any given day. He's a top 3 player.
Okay, well, see, the argument is logical, and I get it, but it's irrelevant for this conversation. Because, like I said, they talked all that nonsense for a whole entire week.
I mean, that's facts. It's facts.
That's true.
You can't go into Reynolds talking all that nonsense, putting up 1,000. By the way, you gotta give him his credits. He did follow up with his
Right.
He did put his money where his mouth is. Donated to a good charity, I believe. So good job on Reynolds. But you can't do that. You can't talk all that noise, and then y'all come in looking like y'all lost puppies. You
It
should
was
know.
bad.
You should know that when you play. I'm talking about one of them. Y'all both know First Killer go get the ball a lot. So both of y'all need to sacrifice Chicago and Reynolds. Sit there. You're playing on lower ping. I mean, you're playing a higher ping. You can't react to things like you usually do. So just let First Killer do his thing. And then y'all just play back like Taroko, like The Rock does.
Who would you want on that roster? Who would you want to be a third man?
They could have 2 third man, Chicago and Reynolds.
just let First Kill on
They're both
offense.
in the bag.
Yeah, they could have done
Man,
something.
bro.
But it's just like they just were so confident, or they just didn't care. And I don't know, it annoyed me because that meant a lot. Because see, if it wasn't for Envy showing up at the end, and they was looking bad.
And they was looking real.
Oh,
But
bad.
then that boy Miss came in. Miss came in and handled his business. You already know.
You know what's crazy? Is I was streaming during the Generals and Queso series, and when Nick dropped 1,000 points in the first game, I was like, oh baby, I can't go no more backlash on TBates when he brings up that Nick is a top 3 player in the game because he out here performing on 100 ping, man. But then it went down there, and I was just like, I know Nick's mad. He's mad. Mist is mad.
Actually,
man,
is that clip that for the miss shot? Is that from the Queso series?
Yeah.
Let's roll it. We got a clip of Miss hitting one of these cool goals on EU ping. Check it out.
This Demensa character though, Turbo, I think you're gonna like him a lot because he plays the Dominus, and if there is a player who plays like a Dominus should, it would be him.
Hold that thought, Johnny. We got an absolute banger here today.
Oh, that's a good
Oh,
goal.
Richard taught him well. Oh, look at
Got a
him.
clean.
Wow. So
So it's winnable. It's winnable. It'll take some work, but it's winnable to win with that ping. If you do it right.
you got to be on offense the whole time. You cannot get on defense from what Garrett was saying.
Or you can do my
Especially
1-2 format. My 1-2 formation. One up, 2 back.
Formation.
Honestly, that probably would work against Queso. They go for everything, man. What did Garrett say? He said they play like a champ 2 team, but like,
oh my gosh.
but it works. That's what he said. He said they play like a champ 2 team, but it works. And it
So-
did.
Oh, okay, I'm done.
No, I'm done.
Oh, that was funny how you're talking about that. The Queso and then like offense, because then we also have the next topic is a cross region tournament feasible. I just want to like ask y'all about it, especially like Raul here, who's just he's so big on the team comps. The team comps big, but in terms of just like, being a team and chemistry. So I got a question for you. Is a cross region tournament feasible for you? Like, is that doable, or is there still the excuse of ping?
I don't think it's feasible. If you like cross region tournament, you mean like we go back and forth on servers. The team that has the server advantage is just gonna. I feel like it's highly unlikely that a team is going to win on a different server, like a ping.
Okay, so counter to that, what if we did it kind of like, you know, Counter-Strike / Valorant style, where if, let's say, the series goes into whoever wins 2, like let's say it's tied up, it's a best of 7, it's tied up 3-3. The winner of it, they have to win not only on, they not have to win the first match, but they have to win another one, which means they're going to have to win on the other ping. I mean, it take a minute, but like
it would take a minute, I feel like, but for like bottom 6 teams, I think there's a chance that like BDS, like the top teams in the region, can take a series on another server. I think there's a chance, a better chance than like the 6th place team taking a game on another region, another server. In my opinion, what do you think about it, TBates?
I think it's doable.
I think the whole thing, just winning completely without that 2-game thing, the overtime, 2-game overtime.
I think it's doable.
I think that's tough. It's tough.
It is tough. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, anybody could do it. But these are pros. They get paid for a reason.
But is it feasible? Like I don't think a pro would want it.
Yeah, it's feasible. Reynolds already tweeted out. Get me out there.
Reynolds was talking all that, bro, and got.
But see, Reynolds tweeting that out, and Sip gonna have 140 ping. See, I don't know if it's feasible for like an SSG or a West Coast team. But in terms of like an East Coast team or an Eastern-ish region team, where you're getting like 120 tops, like first killer ping that he was getting, first killer was still getting 500 points. I know. He still looked really fast and really good. And so, I mean, Monkey Moon also looked really good on 120. There's a couple nuances and changes you'd have to make in terms of the way you approach the game. But it's definitely doable when you're playing with your team. To take one game on the other server, it'd be more like a home away type thing, which would be really interesting to see. Like you gotta win your home games and you gotta still that one on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's manageable. It'd be cool to see.
Okay. What was I gonna say? There's also talk about, I think, like what a Team Envy tweeted out. Let's try to fly BDS out, and I think Team BDS also on their Twitter accounts were like, oh, maybe we'll fly them out. So like maybe we do get like that, like an international like head to head per se. But in terms of cross region tournaments, yeah, possible. I think we have our answer to the question of like whether or not you guys think. Well, I mean, I'll still ask you guys, do you think the NA versus EU debate is resolved? I'm going to personally say no.
No.
Yeah.
It's still out. The jury is still out.
It's not resolved till land. Until we have a land, it won't get resolved. And even if even when we have the land, I don't think it's gonna get resolved. It's just never gonna get resolved. It's always gonna be a topic.
Nah.
NA versus EU, always.
If there's a land, it'll get resolved already.
Always. It's always a thing. NA last land, it's a thing now because BDS happened.
Yeah, I mean that's just one team though. As a region, we all know we're better still. and then I don't know. And then once we win the land, what are they gonna say then? The EU people, I don't know if y'all noticed, they hold on to those lands they won back in the Ice Age.
Oh my God, Stumpy did that so much.
I believe I was wet behind the ears. I was fresh out the womb probably when the last time I saw EU actually like perform on the land stage, like and win.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just they always bring that up. You can't hold on to that. The one land that's gonna matter is the next land, whenever that happens. That's
gonna be sweaty.
And when that does, when NA takes it, there won't be no more debate. It'll be simple. Then when BDS, I would think they would do well, but just say like if they didn't even get top 5, I don't hear nothing from you no more.
No, BDS don't get top 5.
But they probably get top 5. They really
I think they get top 5.
That's just me playing a little like silly game.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens in terms of the NA versus EU debate as that continues on. What's gonna be the next iteration of that? Just make sure to keep your eyes on Twitter or wherever for somebody to do something, because something's gonna happen. But something that, you know, somebody took on their own and turned it into something that I think a lot of us really appreciate is Ragequit. Ragequit was a 2v2 tournament, or not even 2v2 tournament, 2v2 show matches that Jorby and Achieves ran. It was streamed on Jorby's channel. There were 2 different show matches, but the first one, or I guess the big one, I should say, was apparently Jack and Dead Monster played against Samurai Gaming, and they won 4-2. And, you know, and I think especially I want to get Bates' thoughts on this one because, you know, that boy loves this era.
Loves it.
You want my thoughts on this right now?
Yeah. Or do you want to do it later? Do you have
Hold
something
on,
later?
hold on. I want everybody to listen to this beautiful clip that Jorby and Achieves have for us from their broadcast. It's actually amazing. And I
Okay.
love it. It's so original. I just want everybody to see SRG's skill first, real fast.
Perfect read. He's not going to get back to it. Bumps Dead Monster off the ball now. Khaled. He's got him on, chasing him downfield. Force Jack up early. Flip reset. Pop up the ramp right there. Way. Oh my gosh. What? No way. Oh my God.
Combo!
Ultra combo all day. What?
Ow!
What?
Did you see O'Connell?
That was nice.
Biggest smile on his face.
Wait, what was that sound cue? Ultra combo. What is that? What is he saying right there? I don't know what he
Yeah.
said, but that's hilarious. I love like that video, old retro video game esque like theme. Anyways, back to SRG losing that. See, everybody sees the score line 4-2, but they don't know there's like 4 games that went overtime. They were close games. And also, I'm really big on Ahmed. I think he's really legit threes, and you could just tell like his skill with a perfect backflip shot. Like he just got to place that, and that's just placement. It's on command too. That's mechanics. That's all day, baby. But as you see, like in terms of the twos world, Ahmed's probably the worst player on the field right there. That's saying something. And that's saying something because they're all really great at twos. But Dead Monster and Abject, they ain't no slouches. They're ones players to a T. They know exactly what they need to do to win the game. They capitalize on their counterattacks. They capitalize on their 1v1s, they 50s. And if you make a mistake, it's over for you. And Ahmed, for as great as he is, he did leave my boy Khaled back 1v2. Like Khaled had to be really, really special. So I mean, in 2v2 setting, it's reasonable to see. And you might even somebody say you expect SRG to lose that. So I mean, it happens, but SRG is still great. And I think it's really good to see the 2v2 great teams play each other and put some shine on this 2v2 scene because I just love the game of playing it and watching it. It's really exciting.
By the amount that Bates hypes up SRG, I went into that series last night thinking like I rewatched it last night and I went into that I was like SRG won, right? Like they have to win this. Like Ahmed, Khalid, TBates calls them 2 of the best players in the world. They have to win this. They have to win this. But to his testament, Ahmed, you know, he seems like he is a speed demon. He is a mechanical player. I don't know how many shots. I mean, I'm like not. I'm watching it, but I wasn't fully paying attention to it, and I just like be caught out. Like I was mid conversation with a couple buddies, just caught out just because he hits like a double tap that like I don't expect him to hit, and it's just like crazy. It's just mechanical out there, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, my bad. Like I didn't mean to disrespect you like that. Okay. He got it. But that just comes to show that like Dead Monster and Abject, they about it because if I'm hitting shots like that and he's still losing, all right, bro. Like
They're good.
It's up there. It's up there. And that just it's crazy because like twos can be something special to move forward with. After seeing something like that, I hope that Jorby and Achieves continue with that Ragequit and bring us more content because that was a great series to watch. And I recommend everybody, if you haven't seen that, go see that. He still has his VOD up. Jorby still has his VOD up. Jorby, please on Twitch.
Yeah, and he put it on YouTube too. I think it's Jorby Please on YouTube, but I'm not 100% sure. Jorby, if it's not, I'm sorry. That being said, do we think that we are going to see more 2v2 events in the future? That is the question that comes from this. My easy answer is yes, because why not? Like
I thought we figured out the calculus, the algorithm last week. Remember that?
What are you talking about?
The Psyonix algorithm that we came up with.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what was it again? It was whoa. I don't know how we ended up with 2v2.
It was like freestyle,
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
It was
It was like-
freestyle check, no casual check, freestyle check,
Right.
1v1
check.
check, 2v2 has to be
2v2
next.
has to be next.
Everything's getting checked off, and so I mean, it's only a matter of time, surely, right? I don't know, but even if that doesn't happen, Ragequit is a wonderful as well, and I hope Jorby and Cheese really like keep that going. Maybe just grow that to be even a big tournament or something along the lines. Maybe during the off season, and because it's really enjoyable to watch, and you can get all these great teams playing one another, and 2v2 is a spectacular game mode. I just love it. It's just the best.
It's so fast paced, and there's so much space on the field for players like Ahmed and Khalid, Habjack. Imagine every mechanical player just like having that much space, that much boost to just work on the field. It's just so fun for audiences just to watch top players have so much space that they won't get in threes. They will not get that space in three. And even the top mechanical players, you still see pull off crazy things on the main stage. But just imagine them with space, a lot more boost. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I have this train going by. I don't know if you can hear it. It's like so loud.
I can hear it, but it's
Yeah,
not really loud.
yeah,
I don't
it's not
mind it.
Oh, okay. As long as it's not that loud. You know, like with my hand on my mute button on my mic the entire time. I'm like, okay, but it's not coming through.
There's your camera go. Your camera's going through. Your camera's gone. The train came by. The train had a little radio signal. Heated up the camera. Now our own's going through. Everybody's going away. Oh no! Hey, it's actually funny. I'm the only one that hasn't had any technical issues this stream, and it's actually amazing. This is wonderful. This is a
great.
rarity. Damar's gone. Raul's camera's going in and out, and I'm good. Oh hey, are you back?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you.
My camera's overheating because it's getting warmer. So I usually open the window so the camera can get some air so it doesn't overheat. But it's warm outside, so I don't know. This might keep happening.
Don't worry, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine.
Keep me
You're
in
fine.
check.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to see more Rage Quit. I want to see more TV2 events in the future, you know, a bunch of stuff like that. But I think, you know, we talk about game modes that, you know, Psyonix is doing, and I think they've all gotten their own different reactions with the freestyles, the ones, obviously RLCS, and now we see Rage Quit with 2s giving us a new perspective. But let's talk about game modes in our next topic entry. And what do you guys think is the best game mode? 1s, 2s, or 3s?
Well, I mistakenly said what I think is the best game mode in the last segment, but so I'll let one of y'all go, or both of y'all can go.
It's tough. I think. Go ahead, Damar. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, that is tough. I used to play I used to be a 3s main for a long time. I used to just play 3s, but then I think I started talking to TBates, and he was like, "You gotta play 2s because 2s make it make it beat faster."
Y'all sound like that?
Yeah, you do sound like that. You be like, "Come on, you're too slow.
There's
You
no
gotta
way
play
I
some."
sound like that. I don't sound like that.
Well, you
A
should
little bit.
Yeah, that's what he's talking. And obviously, like, there are people who are huge advocates for 1s that I've seen a lot of times, like for Flakes, for example, he'll tell everybody to play 1s. Johnny will talk about 1s too. He loves 1s. I feel like for me, after a while, I think for me it's 2s, because 2s is kind of like the in between. It really is the in between. You have enough space to like where you can create plays and kind of go for the 1v1s, but you get the security net of having a second player there too at the same time. So you get to try a bunch of different things, and it translates what you've learned from 1s, and then it also transitions into 3s when you get time and space. So I think for me, I'd have to say 2s.
For me, as important 1s and 2s is to a player's development, like a player upcoming, you'll notice a lot of upcoming talent in 2s more than you will in any other game mode. And even in 1s, honestly, like Johnny Boy has a lot of spotlight on these upcoming talents that come up because they're just on the 1s leaderboard, and he invites them on, and it's great. It's great to see them showcase their talent on his platform. But I gotta transition into 3s. I think 3s is the best game mode because 6-mans is a thing, right? 6-mans is a pickup. 3 random players in the same rank. They play on the same team against 3 more random players, you know? And that was my come up. So honestly, playing 1, 2s, and 3s gets you that well-rounded kind of gameplay that you need. But that 6-man's actually having that team cohesion, figuring out where you need to be positioned on the field, because at the end of the day, threes is what's gonna make you the money. So you get to the league, you made it. You know what I'm saying? And that's threes. So I think threes is the best game mode.
Cool. So you think it's the best game mode because where's the money, Zach? Okay, so you're looking at financially. I respect that opinion. In terms of what the best game mode is, I think I got to break it down into 2 sections. One, in terms of viewer viewer enjoyment, pleasing the viewer, it's exciting. And the other one, in terms of competing, from a competitor's perspective. In terms of the latter, 3 is just the better game mode. It's just less stressful. Well, they're both really stressful, but one's less stressful because it's more structure and order as to how you approach threes. There's a solid rotation. There's comms are definitely more efficient in a 3v3 setting. And you can like kind of calculate and predict what other players gonna do. And they're also afforded less space to really work their magic. It's way easier to take AJ out of the sky when there's 2 people that can throw themselves at it, one after each other, rather than just having one and no one has to wait, like in the 2v2 game mode.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's important to really touch on. But in terms of watching it, they're both really exciting. They're both really exciting. But personally speaking, I don't know. You just got 3's exciting because you have the demos, the rotation, and all the nuances that really gets me going. But 2's has like that, like, you know, that freestyle, that what is he gonna do next type vibe, and it's like a combination of 1s and 3's put together, and it's just beautiful. It gets me really excited to watch. Like Joria is going up into the sky, 1-on-1 full 100 boost is way more of a threat in 2v2 than 3v3. And as a viewer, you're gonna know that.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot.
So I think it's just preference. But once is definitely not the best game mode. I think we can all agree on that.
I got no comment, bro.
I hope Johnny not watching, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
No, and what Johnny puts on in the 1s tournaments, they're really good. They're exciting.
Yeah.
And they're amazing to watch. Like watching Jorius in a 1 setting, and especially in comparison to his 3s, his 1s are just dominant, and it's a beauty. It's a masterpiece, a class work of it's a rank S type class.
You have to thank the 1s playlist. All the mechanical players you see nowadays, chat, they came from 1s. 1s makes mechanical players. You want to be mechanical? You an upcoming young boy, bro? Stay in free play. Hit the 1s. Once you get the most space on the field, you get the most boost on the field. Hit the 1s. Hey, Johnny boy, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, Johnny boy.
You don't have to do any 1s. What Raul is talking to, Raul is a grandpa. You gotta take that into account. He about 37 years of age now. He's been playing the game. He's been playing the game for 7 years. When he started playing 1s, it was a way different type of approach to the game than it is now. Nowadays 1v1, everybody's so focused on getting their rank points. It's more about bumping you, taking you out to play, doing whatever it takes, and it's going to open net. Old school 1v1, when you had the time, you could work on your bounce dribble. You could work on your crossover. You can work on your pickup, your carry.
What rank are you, TBates? Because I'll be still doing that today.
Oh, come on.
Show camera.
Yeah, put that up, please. I just gotta let it cool off for a little bit. Gotta let it cool off.
I'm SSL.
You don't find space. Hey, I'm sorry.
I do find space. I capitalize on my space, actually. It's just very boring gameplay, per se. I'm not like AJ and Joris. If I was like them, it'd be different. But in terms of like just like the average Joe like myself, it's just not that. 2s is better. The 3s and 2s are very comparable. And it's just like in terms of like just having more events, like Ragequit and stuff like that for 2s and putting that spotlight. I think everything should be put on. And Johnny can keep producing that most excellent 1s possible because he's always been doing that. Been full forever doing it because it's enjoyable. But my preference is 2s and 3s.
If I'm doing it based off of enjoyment or entertainment, like to watch, for me it's only because we haven't seen that many 2s, so
yeah,
I have to put 2s last. Too. Like, I would go 3s, 1s, and then 2s. That's because I haven't seen 2s. I haven't seen it. I want to see more of it.
Well,
like, 3s we have RLCS. 1s we have Johnny Boy Salt Mine Underground. That was fantastic. 2s all we have is Ragequit right now, and Ragequit is great, but I need to see more. And I want to see like highest level 2s. Last time we saw 2s like Universal Open. That was a long time ago. But in terms of playing the game, it's definitely 2s, 3s, and 1s, like in that order.
No,
For me.
3s, 2s, 1s. 3s, 2s, 1s in terms of playing.
But you play more 2s than you play 3s.
Yeah,
That's just because I'm forced to play 2s because nobody queues 3s anymore.
that's cap.
That is not cap.
That's cap.
There is no cap in what I'm saying. Nobody
Oh
plays
my
3s.
gosh.
It's just sad. It's sad how my 3s rank mode isn't as great as it used to be. I remember the glory days where I used to be able to queue up into a full G2 roster. No,
I guess you want to do that.
that's right.
I'll
That's
be
the work for
ripping
me.
my hair out.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you guys ain't about the business. I'm about getting that work in.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Oh, okay. I ain't come up at the first touch of flame nothing. So go ahead, bro. You can
Flame
handle
nothing.
G2.
Wait,
I
how
wasn't
many
about
wins
to
you had
flame
in the
you,
grid?
but
How many wins you had in the grid?
Huh?
Oh, you weren't about to flame me? Okay,
I
I'm about to
wasn't
say.
about to flame you, bro. Like chill
I know
out,
you ain't
bro.
talking about grid
What's
wins
up
with
with
an
him,
E
bro?
United hat on, bro.
Hey, last time I checked, I got dub in his head.
Oh my
Nah,
gosh, bro!
nah.
He's gripping onto that dub for dear life.
Facts. I'm still mad at Gyro, bro. Why you lose to him?
How you let it happen? Bro, Gyro be getting mad when we bring that up.
There's nothing you can do when you got greatness on the other side of the field.
Oh, boy.
that's just how it goes. Or that's neither here nor there.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's try to get off of that and go on to CRL, which is our next topic. CRL Spring Championship is this week. Following some exciting league play that we've had for the past 5 weeks, it's now come to a close, and Northwood is looking to go back to back. But obviously, let's take a look at some of the standings, as you know, we can see where we ended up and how we got here.
I think
What?
we're gonna do the East, and then we're gonna do the East playoffs, the Babbling,
Okay.
and then do the West and West. East, East, West, West.
Right. Cool.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I mean, obviously, we have the Eastern Conference right in front of you. How do you guys? I mean, Bates, how do you feel about where things shook off in terms of like the standings?
I feel like Bates knows his Rocket League. 'Cause I predicted 1, 2, and at Florida Poly finishing at 4, and but I had UCF finishing at 3. And they're really close. They're still making the playoffs, but everybody's just 10-8 with their game differential. So a couple flip flops, but I expected it. It went how I expected it to go for the most part. Durham, they did better than Stockton. Didn't see that coming. But you got to give the Canadians their props, put in the work and time. It's going how it should be, and I'm really excited. I want to see that Florida Poly team put their demo-esque play style, that focus, into this Eastern playoffs coming up, and it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be really good Rocket League.
This is the playoff bracket for the Eastern Conference. Actually, not that bad. Obviously, it's a double elim bracket. How do you feel? How do you feel this is gonna play out, Bates? I think it's gonna be just a Northwood win, but do you think that anybody shakes things up here?
All right, well, see, Tristan's playing for Akron now. Tristan's back, so you gotta take that into account when you're calculating the Akron team. The Akron Buttons is good, but Akron Tristan is great. But see, my boys from Florida Poly, they ain't playing no games with nobody, and they gonna put the hammer down. They gonna be coming for Akron non-stop throughout this whole entire series. We'll look for them demos, so it's gonna be tight for them. Northwood, they should be able to handle USF. I'm not seeing too much. Probably like a 4-1 over there. 4-1 over there, 4-0. Akron and Florida Poly, I can see that going 7. And if that ends up going 7, and Akron loses, then I think they're going to be a little bit demoralized. And when they make it back to losers final, because I do believe whoever loses the Akron Florida Poly game will beat USF. Then after that, it's just anybody's game. But Northwood should be able to make it all the way to the grand finals, no problem. And then after that, granted, it will be Akron, but I got faith in the Florida Poly boys to at least make them work, for the first time.
Yeah, I think that for me, actually, I'm kind of on board with you. I think that you definitely got like this all figured out in terms of the Eastern Conference bracket. It'll be exciting to see Akron back with Tristan, as Akron and Tristan. It's all been
Sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, it really has
Nothing but
been.
greatness. I wouldn't know about it. Got lost. That's neither here nor there.
Dang. Okay. Well, speaking of you, let's look at the Western Conference, where we see your LSU Tigers that you coach, that I have to say with extra emphasis every time. sitting at second right now under UNT, who is top of the conference. And I didn't know, it's funny because you were talking about North Texas being Raul's team. They had a poor start, but now they're sitting at the top of the Western Conference.
They lost one game. That wasn't a poor start. They just got thrilled by LSU. I gave Raul a good team. I wasn't being like unfair. Also, this coaching thing, let's pause the brakes on that first off. I don't want nobody to think I'm a bad coach like that. Time out. I'm only sometimes in the comms, and we don't practice or nothing like that. And so don't put me out there saying I'm coaching. I'm really just here to be a friend and a loyal supporter. And
on the roster as a coach, but you don't show up on game days.
I do sometimes.
Sometimes.
It depends when I need me. I'll be there this week, 100%. I have everything to do. I'm a busy man. Sometimes I gotta work CCA or something, man. I ain't got time to sit there and watch every single game.
You hear that, Roll? So you can sometimes show up.
Time out. That's different though. That's his job. That ain't my job. I'm doing that out of nicest of my heart.
Man. I can't talk on that because if he ain't getting paid, I mean,
that's true. Doing and the niceness of your heart has LSU here in the playoff bracket. Now, first round against Arizona. Arizona's been playing pretty decently over the season. I still personally think LSU's going to win. Then that
you should.
Okay. Then at North Texas UT Dallas, I have North Texas, but that winner's final. That's definitely.
Let me tell you how this bracket's gotta go. Once again, basically gonna be right, just like I was about Cringe side last week. Let me let all y'all know right now. This for the Western playoff bracket, by the way, guys. LSU go sweep Arizona 4-0. Ain't gonna be much competition. UNT and Texas Dallas, they go about 6 or 7. UNT probably gonna take that. After that, LSU gonna beat North Texas probably about 4-1. And then UNT or Texas Dallas, or one of them teams gonna make it out of lose final. I don't know which one I'm gonna be. But that's just how it's going. I'm just gonna give you the information. Cause like I said, I'll be in the comms this time. Cause you need the base comms for the hype. I feel like that's a requirement every team needs to have. And also, I'm just there to keep the morale up, keep everybody good to go, and focus. We ain't playing no games. And then we might even scrim a little bit this week, which is dangerous. Cause LSU never scrims. So, I'm just letting you know how it's going to go.
So you got LSU winning in the grand finals? They're
Yeah.
taking the whole thing?
In the West.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Western thing, now for the championship, which I believe it's this week. I don't remember. But for the it's somewhere on there. But for the championship, that's different. But my 4 teams making it to the championship, I got Akron. Akron gonna be Florida Poly, I think. It's gonna be close. Akron, Northwood from the east, then LSU, UNT from the west. The usual bread and butter.
Sorry. I mean, I don't know personally, just because it's been a little off, and TBates being in the comms kind of. I don't know if that's gonna help or hurt the team, because it's gonna be pressure, and I don't know how Brian. I don't think Brian gonna listen to you.
Hey, did you see the last time Braun B played Rocket League on the mainstream?
I mean, he was looking good. He was looking.
What did he look like?
But were you there?
Where was I?
Were you there? Because
I was on the bridge. I was on the bridge on my way home.
Yeah, you weren't there, so you're gonna be in his ear, yapping, and I don't know if that's gonna help him.
Hey, if the yap, it ain't working out, yap, then it doesn't disconnect and leave, man. And I'll watch from the sidelines if that's an issue.
You're gonna have Bates in the green room. Like, I mean, I don't know what to do.
Hey, man.
That'll be fun, though.
But see, I got my 14s, which leads us to like next little thing. I'm gonna ask you tomorrow. I'm gonna ask you real simple. Northwood's looking to go back to back. Are they gonna be able to do it?
Yeah, I think so.
You think they're gonna be able to handle business?
I think they'll handle business because they've been kind of trolling these past couple weeks in CRL. I remember me and Stackscast at this one series. They all changed their cars. They went full splice on that one, where I can't even remember half the cars they used, but it was wild. Stacks loved it because Stacks doesn't use regular cars because Stacks is weird. But they did that and they ended up winning their series in 4. So I think when it comes down to playoffs and it's time for them to actually step up and sit up, I don't think they'll slouch over.
Okay. Bro, I'm gonna lay it easy for you since I know you ain't a CRO man, but I'll make it easy. I'm a CRO man. Northwood got Noxus, Buddy, and Pirates.
Yeah.
You know UNT's roster?
D-Bank.
D-Bank too fast and Lucia.
Okay.
LSU got Braun B, Low Tech, and Ajax. And what's my last team? Akron has Buzz, Reticence, and Tristan. That's the 4 teams I believe gonna make the championship. The 90 championship. I think it's a single one. But regardless, you have Northwood coming out of there?
The winning?
Yeah.
That's like the only roster that probably I don't know. I don't know because like LSU, Low Tech, like I've been getting Low Tech in my rank games, bro, and that man be priming, bro. I don't know how they're losing. Like how are they losing? Honestly,
LSU?
yeah.
Oh, you see, that's a variety of factors that I can't tell you. 'Cause if I disclose that information out public, then people are gonna listen to me. They're gonna take that information and then they're gonna apply it against LSU come playoffs, and I can't let that happen. I gotta be wise about what I say on stream. So I'm not gonna let you know. That was a loaded question. I see what you're trying to do there to help out your team boys. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Oh no, bro!
Look, we have a nice clip on the stream. Tristan out there. See, that was a nice play by Buzz. Look at it. Buzz pre-flipping on the outside. Scoop by one, two to lose. Look at Tristan. See, Butters can't do that. And see, that's what you gotta take into account with Akron with Tristan now. They're a more dangerous team. You gotta put respect on the name. And so I think Akron could take Northwood. I think Akron knows that Northwood, they handled them up 4-1 last national championship back in January. And it was a little tough for Akron was frustrated. And I think they've been putting a little bit of prep, a little bit of time. If anything, Buzz and Residence took the challenge, saying, let me play a Buttons, get used to playing person, developer who's not as good as Tristan. And so once you insert Tristan back into the lineup, we'll be a fresh team again. And after that is raps. So I think Akron take it to Northwood. I think they take it. I don't know if they're going to beat them, but it's going to be tight. Now, my Tigers, we don't play. And whether I'm yapping in the comms or whether I'm outside the comms, none of that's outside the point. I think the Tigers are handling them up too. Ajax best player in the field, Low Tech, speedy, and then Braun beat the last time we saw him, he was hitting double touches off the ceiling. He was looking like Braun greatness. Usually it's TBates greatness out there, but it was Braun greatness. I was proud of that moment.
I'm so tired of this man, bro.
I was proud of that moment. So I don't think it's gonna be easy. Ain't nobody that's gonna walk in. Nobody ain't gonna walk in with that trolling type beat they be doing, and all of a sudden take a W. Ain't gonna happen. TRL2 loaded now. And just to give you all a disclaimer, I don't know what thing it was. It was some collegiate thing, but I don't know how much stock I should put in this. But Northwood and Akron did actually lose to T-Crow's team in something.
Oh yeah, I saw that tweet. I was like, what's up with that? I didn't really pay that much attention.
But I don't know how much important it is. They could have just been like a troll. I don't even know what it's for. So I mean, like, but it is possible for them to lose if they don't have to focus it. That's what I'm saying. So
well, they're gonna have to focus. This is playoffs. They're gonna have to focus.
I know, but sometimes you just come in expecting to win. Remember that last time Noxus? Remember all the way back last fall? Noxus came in against Akron, looking confident. It'll probably be a 4-1, 3-1. It'll be easy, man. You know what I'm saying? And they end up getting slapped.
That is
you
true.
come in with that type of mindset. I can't speak for the Zips, but I know the Tigers could be ready. And the Eagles pretty good too. So
this man with his secret strats don't even be in all the comms. You don't even be in the game. It's about some secret strats. Is it the fact that there is secret strats or there isn't secret strats? Because
just let you know, Coach Bates has been doing replay reviews lately, and let me tell you, it's always effective when Coach Bates is out there handling the X's and O's with my little red paint, point out where people should be.
Oh
yeah.
God. Okay.
Yeah, I use old software. I don't play around.
Okay, man.
My replay reviews are intense. You better with your pen and pad, notebook and pencil, ready to work. I don't play.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Because if I go to a TBates culture session, I'm gonna lose my mind. That being said, we are introducing someone who has been a big factor of all of like Rocket League eSports. He is with the Psyonix eSports team as eSports manager of product. Psyonix Cory will join us on the show today. Cory, hello.
I'm here. I made it.
You are. Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I had to listen to TBates go off for like, what was that, 20 minutes of him just babbling about LSU and how he's going to lead them to victory?
That's right.
So I had one thing I wanted to say real quick before we get into like real talk. Roll Dizz, how many lands you been to?
Like 2. too.
Okay, TBates, how many lands you been to?
Tom Holland, there's an asterisk on that. There's an asterisk on that. There's an asterisk on this. I missed at least 2 lands because of the COVID. So none of that. No. If you wanted to bring it up a year ago before I made a land, that would have been good. But like,
okay, we'll give you the asterisk on that.
There we go. There we go.
We'll give you that one. But you know, I had to.
Oh my god.
Oh man. You told me you had something cooking up. I didn't think it was that. My goodness. Well, obviously, Cory, thank you for joining us on the show today. It's obviously a pleasure to have you here. For you guys that don't know, Cory is also our contact from Psyonix for First Touch. We kind of talk to him whenever we have to talk about stuff. And also, I'm still going to tee this one up for you anyways. What is it like working with TBates, Cory?
I mean, it's great. I love working with TBates. I mean, but we always got to roast each other. Like any week where we got to prep for First Touch, it's always like a little bit of back and forth. I mean, you see it. Yeah. But my job is really, I can boil it down to I got to bring down the TBates ego every week. Is basically like all I got to do.
That's facts.
TBates about to throw it back to me later. This is gonna be fun.
Oh Lord. Oh gosh. Okay. Damar, you got anything?
Yeah. So one thing I want to talk to you about is besides helping us out with First Touch, you also are a big proponent in CRL, right? Collegiate Rocket League. Talk to me about like the history of CRL in terms of where you started versus where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, TBates, keep me honest if I forget any details. So much has happened since then. But like, I mean, so CRL started back in like 2017, and then now we're hitting 2021. So it feels like forever at this point now. And TBates has been one of those players since like were you in season 1? I can't remember.
Nuh-uh.
You came around like season 2 or
season
something
2.
Like that.
Season 2.
Yeah, 2018 then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been crazy to kind of watch it grow from like this random stream that we just started up on a secondary channel, and then now like to where it is one of our like premier esport products. And for our team, like it's one where like it's been amazing to see just the collegiate community and how they kind of have adopted CRL. Like it's something where it's always been community first, like any esports property that Psyonix runs, and it's worked somehow. Like it's always just cool every season. Like we never think like, oh, we'll hit this milestone maybe or whatever, and then we just blow everything out of the water every season. And really, it's like I look back at it now and look at like the championships coming up this week is like it's just there's so much more story now too. And I think like the nice thing of we got Akron, Northwood, and who's going to be the the back-to-back and all this sort of stuff. And if LSU can throw it in. And don't forget UNT.
Don't forget
there's other teams, but it's just cool to see like how far it's gone. And like, I don't know, I still remember like Achieves and Corelli, the first like show that we did, and like being in the studio talking to them and going from like that far back to like now, like, I don't know, like almost everyone's on CRL. Like the broadcast team's huge. The broadcast is huge. Like it's kind of crazy looking back, like but it's fun. It's just the beginning though. So.
Yeah. And I definitely want to hit on like the broadcast for today, because I mean, you go back to Corelli and the content board, and we've come from that to like now we do like the pre-show with the F dot, and we do like the game shows and stuff like that. And then even then we have the graphics are almost always changing every season to where now we even have the cast reaction thing that I love very much. I love that so much. I'm trying to get other people to do stuff like that, because I'm like, dude, this is so cool.
They've had the cast reaction before.
They've had it for like a couple of seasons, right? Or has it been like, I don't know how long.
I thought it was CRL exclusive.
Yeah, we had it for a couple seasons. It's dependent on like a tech specific thing that we had to change from the new like broadcast studio that we moved to. When we went from like, because we used to do it out of like Blizzard Arena, and then we moved over to do it in a house, which is hilarious, but it was cool. Like, I think that's kind of the different take like you can use with CRL. And I miss like the shows that were out of there. Like that's the one thing, like online shows are fun, but like, man, just getting everyone in a room and like looking at old clips of all that, it's like, one day, but it's just fun. Like that's kind of the CRL way.
Yeah, I was definitely living my best life when I was going to
He brings it up all the time if you
'Cause
can.
it-
Don't let
it
him
was-
start. Oh, here we
It
go.
was
Go
so
ahead.
great. It was just
It's
so
all
great.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not gonna talk about it all. I'm not gonna talk about it all. I'm just gonna say I was living my best life. That's all I'm saying. But again, I did want to like hit on the broadcast because it is definitely something that is different from a lot of one other esports, but also all the other shows that we have. Where I remember when I first got on it, I was that was like my first big Psyonix gig, and I jump in. I'm like, okay, let's sit up. Boom.
You were stiff that day.
I was stiff. I was this guy was yeah. I love this. I'm talking about the teams. Boom, boom, boom. Get my notes, and then I had like a meeting afterwards, and they're like, dude, just be more goofy. Like just kind of.
I think I told you that. I think that's what I had told you was like just be yourself. I think that's the hardest thing, and like that's the fun about CRL is like I don't know. It's how we would want to like if we were to work a show, that's the show like how we'd want it to run. It's just like you guys tell me all the ideas, and I'm just like, cool, go for it. Like I don't. We kind of just guided along, and then obviously, gotta give props to Bento and Koji and team and all them for helping us do all the crazy antics that we do on that. But it's kind of always been like let's try it on CRL and see if it works. Like that's the fun thing about the show, and what I always love about it is like let's just try it. Like who cares? Why not? And then the students are going to tell us one way or the other if they liked it or not, especially TBates.
Oh yeah, I'm very vocal. I don't let anything go away like that. Okay, I have some questions. Some of them I was thinking about already, but I'm looking at what some people have. And this one's from my man Rex from Florida Poly. And I like this question. He asked, 'cause I know how you touched on like CRL initially and how it was it's like an event per se. Y'all just had on a B stream or wherever that stream was called, and just kind of blew up. So how much more potential for growth do you think the league still has in terms of like collegiate?
Oh, we're on like the 1 yard line. Like we got like 99 more yards to go. Like that's where I look at.
No, 1 yard line.
I think like the thing with CRL is like it's so focused on the top right now. Like it's just like, oh, we've had kind of the same top schools for a while now, right? Like, and the same kind of players and all that, and it's hitting that like top level competition. But I think the areas that I'm super focused on in the future is expanding the league. Obviously going to say it more regions eventually, but when it makes sense.
Or regions.
I mean, I want it to be global. Like that's my goal, right? Like everywhere, but everywhere is different, right? Like everywhere is going to have a different way to plug into CRL. But we got to figure that out and do what we do now right and perfect, and then we move it along once we get there.
Okay.
But the other thing is more like from like my point of view is like, so I'm a college dropout, and like that's the reason why I love CRL is because it helps give students the thing that I didn't have in college, which is hilarious that I work on that as my full-time job is like trying to get people to graduate college. But like it's kind of for me is like increasing the education opportunities. Like we through CCA we have a bunch of students that do get to work on the league and like get exposure to esports, working in the industry and learning stuff. But I think it's expanding that to more students, and then like being a part of Epic, like we have the Unreal Engine, so like we have all this potential that's there. And like I've been talking to a lot of people all over this company, be able to talk about the future of how we can expand Stick, and that's where I look at this as like from like a hey, the product, the stream, the show, it's hitting what I want there and what the team wants. But I think in the future it's like I see all this potential of like more than just competition, more than just a goofy show. Yeah.
And then, I see a point that here too, like a little bit of like a connection. I'm about to sound real nerdy for a second, but in terms of not only, you talk about Epic and the Unreal Engine, and you also talk about CRL. Maybe there's some connection between that where, there are students who are going to school to try to get game design degrees and seeing maybe there's some way we can connect all of those to where, okay, game design degrees using the Unreal Engine, Rocket League, CRL. There's got to be something where like all that can connect at some point.
And I think that's kind of what we hope to jumpstart in a way is like, this is just one piece of the puzzle. Like there's so many things that can be done, and I think that's where I look at it is like there's been even students like talking to in CRL general where they've asked me like, hey, what's the one thing I'm going for my game design degree? What's the one thing like I should be doing? I'm like, download like an engine, a game engine, like Unreal Engine, but you know, just build something, work on something, you know, like that's kind of the thing is like create something that you can like talk about how like figure out a problem. And that's what we hope like CRL can be used to jumpstart that, not just like crown a national champion, which we're still going to do and we're always going to do. And like, that's the big part of it. But it's, I don't know. I feel like I talk for hours about all that. And I don't want to bore everyone.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I got another one.
Uh-huh.
A lot of these guys think the same way with me, but I just like giving them credit, even though I was gonna say it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Snipes asked a question. I'm not gonna use all his words, but basically he said, "Do you think CRL will end up becoming like a legitimate feeder league to RLCS?" And like I'll even add on to that, even like vice versa, in terms of like RLCS and CRL per se, after like they get older.
I think it's hard, right? Because like the age discrepancy is so different, right? Like, you know, I kind of view CRL now as like, I mean, Tristan, I feel is like an anomaly, right? Like he was able to get kind of both sides working and doing his thing, but like,
right.
It's kind of case by case. It's hard to say. Like it might reveal like a player like that comes up, and there definitely has been tons of like CRL players that do play in both or like are high ranked and, you know, on the pro side as well. But like it's, I think I don't really, that's not a big principle of what guides CRL. It's like if that ends up being the case and like we do scholastic like high school stuff in the future, like if it ends up being a feeder to RLCS, cool. I think it's just a way of like, it's like a benefit. It's not like I'm holding that as like we need to do this and force it, because I don't feel like Roll, like I don't think if you were forced to like in any way like, oh, we got to take from like the high school league or the CRL league, like you just want to find the best player for your team. Like that's kind of what you're looking. You're not looking at like, okay, what are they doing in this league? It's just a league we operate, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. So I got another question. Unlimited amounts of questions. And this is more pertaining to like format now. And once again, people keep stealing my ideas, but I like to give them credit. Zodic here, he posted, how do you feel the first double round robin league play went for like the throughout the league play? Because this is the first time we've ever done that in CRL, I believe. Yeah, the first.
I think it's more like sports, and I think CRL has to be more like sports compared to esports, in my opinion, just because I think like the adoption is different, right? Where like we can do like a crazy Swiss and all that for the RLCS, and that's going to be fun and, you know, give a unique take each season. But I think, you know, my thing is double round robin allows teams to have a second chance, and I think that was a big one, and it also starts to build those rivalries of like expecting this matchup to happen like once or twice. Like, you know, I think there's value in that, and also I think the other thing is like making the season longer is another thing too. Like
that's very important.
We definitely made it too short, where with a double round robin with college kids, and like it just
You talking about this season?
This season in particular, yeah.
Oh,
like I think that's a big learning, but like I think for me going long term, like double round robin's here to stay, and then I think we just adjust from there. And I mean, maybe we make it longer. Who knows? Like I think that's kind of the cool thing is like with CRL, I can just ask all the students and you and everyone that's involved and is like, hey, well, what do you like and what don't you like? And then we kind of iterate on it from there, and that's why it is what it is today.
Oh, that's good. That's wonderful.
Yeah, a little heartwarming.
It's wonderful that the format can always change. Oh gosh. Oh man, Damar, you have a question about CRL again?
Well, in terms of CRL, I would love to ask Cory, but we are a little low on time here, so I do want to throw it to Raul in case he has something.
I mean, talked about CRL, and there's a lot of high hopes for CRL. You know, pointing out that we are only on the 1 yard line, as Cory said. But I want to bounce it to RLCS. Cory, you got anything for us?
Got anything? I mean, like, I think the thing is like the team, in the same way like I view CRL, like the team behind RLCS, and I do get to work on it a little bit, you know, here and there and do my thing, but like,
oh gosh,
I mean it's always like we want to keep that going forward. Like RLCSX, like I think was the biggest thing we've ever taken on as an esports team, And, you know, I think looking back on it now, like I remember talking to Johnny Boy in one like talent meeting. He's like, this has been a crazy year for Rocket League esports. It's been like a mad dash. Like we've been going at it like 100 miles an hour the whole time. And like for me, like I'm looking forward to, you know, once we get to the summer, really looking back and thinking what worked and what we all liked and getting to do the same thing that we do with CRL. Like it's what we do with everything is just talk to everyone. But I don't know, it's going to keep getting bigger. Like I can say that, and maybe someone gonna like try and pull me out the door and say stop talking, but like, you know, it's just like, dude, Rocket League is just such a crazy esport. It's so like, I mean, I've been working on it for like 4 years now, and every day I'm just like stoked. And like, there's definitely rough days, there's hard days, but like, I don't know, like it feels like there's so much potential that we can keep doing, and like, it's all over the place. And I think the exciting thing is like, you know, Murdy, Skylar, Ian, Jake, and now Cliff, like the whole team we got on, like we all just want to keep making this thing better. And like the same, like that approach is going to be going forward. And the RLCS, like when we close the book on season X and then we look to the future, like we only want to make it better. And I think the thing is like we all reading the feedback all the time on Reddit and all that. And like we see what people are wanting and we want to definitely give it to them one day. It's just figuring out how to do it. So I don't know. That's the most non-answer I've ever given in my life. But I don't know.
I think it's important to take from that answer that they are humans. Yes, they are reading feedback guys. So I mean, they do have feelings. So like,
it's our job. Like, people gonna have their opinions, and like that's fine. Like that's what people should have. That means they love what they're a part of. Like they love being a part of the community. They want to see it get better. And like we recognize that, and like, look, yeah, sure, there's rough days sometimes, but like it's fine. It's just we got to keep doing good, and like you guys got to keep us accountable, and that's why we love this esport. That's why we love Rocket League. So, yeah.
Big shout outs to the esports team as well, because you're not the only one on it, Corey.
Yeah, no, I gave him. I name dropped everyone.
I name dropped everybody tomorrow.
Okay. I'm just saying. I think. Unless anyone has any other questions, mine's is going to be, can I have my title?
Oh, okay. I'll hit up Scott Rudy. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll get there. Right. You know, it's just busy. It's just hard.
You know,
it's just hard.
I get it. I'm just.
Wait, what title are you? What title are you talking about?
My
RLCS title.
Yeah,
he had to do it.
Oh, you poor guy.
He had to do it.
Want me to give you the shipping and handling for my CRL Spring Champion title?
I would no.
I do have two things before we roll out. There's another collegiate event getting announced this week, and I ain't gonna tell you what it is. But yeah, there's gonna be another one. It's gonna be big, so get ready for that. Yeah. Collegiate just doesn't stop, so that's happening.
Okay.
You know, so just be on the lookout for that. I mean, I don't know more else, but I feel like I always have to tease something whenever I come on a show. Like I couldn't give Roll Dizz like anything there, so that's the one thing I can't give. But you know,
another big CRO event.
Yeah, you know, we're getting there. But yeah, also don't miss the championships on Thursday. Like that's the big one. You know, let's blow the viewership out of the water. Let's again most watched collegiate esport. Let's just claim that title and have it. That's all I want to see. So there we go.
All right. I think that's definitely the right call, especially like looking guys, if you've also enjoyed Corey on the show, please also watch the CRL Spring Championships this week. Thank you so much. Bates, what are the days for the Spring Championships? Because you know all the dates.
I do know all the dates. You will have the Eastern playoff. Today is Monday, so that's tomorrow, 5/4/2021. Western playoff 5/5/2021 on Wednesday, and then your national championship 5/6/2021 on Thursday. Make sure to
Spring Championship.
Spring Championship. My bad.
Right. As much as
man.
the one that says you're on a Friday, Corey comes in and then no way.
It's all good. It's all good. He's fine. He can have it. He's a guest.
It's all good.
He can have it. Oh my gosh.
Okay, well. Do you
what's
have
happening
something
this weekend? TBates.
The South American Major.
There we go.
You already know. I'm on top of my game somewhat.
And you can watch your boy DeBabbering on that one. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say there. Now, Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for First Touch today. This has been an incredible show, and it's been exciting to have everybody here talk about everything that we've talked about. We're going to go around starting with Cory. Any shout outs, any final thoughts as we close out?
I mean, hey, hi mom. Got to do that always. but yeah, no, just appreciate being on, and yeah, watch CRL. That's all I have to say.
Me, I always shout out the world. Love you, world. Watch CRL. That's Cory. Just piggyback off of Cory. Very big deal. Yo, watch that purple and gold go to work over the course of Wednesday and Thursday. Just letting y'all know.
I just want to shout out the audience. You guys watching it. Yeah, you can kind of resemble that with TBates saying the world. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You are the RLCS world. You are the Rocket League world. So shout out y'all for watching, you know, being here, interacting with us. There's a lot of people that come to my stream, say they love the show, and I know I could speak for everybody here. We appreciate every kind word that, you know, you guys give to us. So yeah, just shout out to you guys.
Exactly. Shout out to everybody. Obviously, thank you, Cory, for being a guest on the show today. Obviously, big shout out to Rotos and TBates every week. You guys, I mean, it's always so much fun. And then shout out to Koji, pushing the buttons behind the scenes, making us all look good. We love you, Koji. And then, of course, shout out to you guys all watching. Thank you guys so much for watching First Touch today. It has been an absolute pleasure. And, you know, be good to each other. We'll see you guys next week.